Can you put your pens down, please? And can you look this way? Thank you. I've been around and I've seen some great opening lines. And I'm pleased to say that all of you have got to that point. So, well done. That's good. We've all started off well. I just want to look back on what we've done today. And then I'm going to talk to you about the homework. Okay? So put your pens down. The first objective today was to look at the poem Storm on the Island by Seamus Heaney. And I think we've done that, and I think we managed to dig out some really good understanding of it. Your responses to the poem were really interesting. So well done for that. The second learning objective was to be able to describe how the poet makes life seem difficult. And I was impressed with those of you who found some of the language quite difficult, but you were able to make some assumptions before you just asked me. So well done for that. The final learning objective is to begin to write your own poem about something difficult in your life. And you've all done this. You've all found a topic, you've started thinking about words, you've got a title, and you've started writing it, which is good. Now, I just want to be very clear with you what I'm expecting from you for the homework. I want a piece of work that is very, very well presented. Okay? I know you've got your mind maps and so on, and you're thinking of different poetic devices to draw in. I want you to carry on thinking like that. I'd like to see some examples of metaphor, of simile, of alliteration, and some of the other generic devices of poetry that we've looked at before. I'd like to see that. I want to see that in your pieces as well. I'm looking for a maximum of around about 200 words, but for a minimum of 150. Okay? There is a genre of writing very, very short poetry, but we're not doing haikus. We are doing a good piece of poetry. So between 150 and 200 words, please. Our next lesson is on Wednesday, so you've got a bit of time. And I'd like it to be handed in then, please. I want it to be a very, very good piece of work, please. Okay? Yes, sir. Thank you. I look forward to reading them.
So I'm interested to ask you as learners, why is variety important, having lots of different types of activity?
I think the key thing is to have a different variety in a classroom, because the students or pupils will probably get agitated while they're in the classroom. If you're doing the same thing, it will get repetitive and boring. So it's best to have loads of different things to do.
And what would be your advice to a teacher about how to set up an activity and run it well?
Well, I think it's a great idea because it allows students to interact with other students and also students to interact with teachers, which keeps them wider awake and keeps them engaged with their class teaching.
You're in the classroom as a student. What do you need from the teacher when they set up an activity? What do they need to tell you?
They need to probably tell you all the things that you need to know about the activity so you know what to do, and probably just make sure they give you feedback. If you do anything wrong or right, give you feedback and make sure you give them feedback if they're doing anything wrong or right as well. So keeps everybody in like a good order.
So from a teacher's point of view, teaching these learners that you've got, what would your top tips be for a new teacher or a beginning teacher in setting up activity? My
absolute top tip is to be prepared and create lessons that have structure, so that when you are getting children into the room, you're getting them engaged straight away in the learning with a starter. And the starter needs to hook the children in so that they're able to then start learning. The activities that are set need to be very clear, the instructions need to be clear, and your expectations need to be clear as well. And circulation around the room is very important while the activity is taking place, so that you can, as a teacher, you can see if there is any misunderstanding or misconception, and you can step in and support the children. The end of the lesson is so important because it's your opportunity to measure progress and go through the learning objectives and see that the children have moved on since they walked in the room at the beginning of the lesson.
That's right, and what we sometimes see with teachers who aren't good at doing these sorts of things is that although they planned the content that they're going to say for the children and the learners, the facts they're going to pass on in the activity, they haven't often thought through carefully enough how the activity will be done, how it will be structured, the ways in which the children will carry it out, and then they're left unclear about the process that they're engaged in, even if the facts are clear. So thinking about your experience of teachers who get things wrong when they're setting up activities, what are the sorts of things they get wrong, do you think?
Like not preparing, sort of getting the starters ready. We'll come in and sometimes it'll be people messing around and not getting like attention from the teachers or anything. Teachers are trying to get attention but they can't because nothing's, like, it's not very interactive with us.
So there's something about being well prepared so that immediately the teacher can start off and that you as learners get a signal then that says, hey, this teacher knows what they're talking about and can engage us.
Yeah.
Okay, great.